Hey, Wendy.
Hi,
I'm,
Ricky.
I'm so glad you're here. The doctor is in, and hopefully Mo will join us soon. But I'm so happy to have you here on our show today to
I'm
talk
very
about.
excited to be with
So
you.
excited! I was so happy to even meet you a couple of months ago. But this is a topic, and you guys are to our audience. We tried to get some blesties on with us today to talk about one of everybody's most talked about topics, vaginal dryness. But I had a couple of blessings say, "Is my mother going to be watching?" So they didn't want to talk about, which it's still this hush hush topic, but it's something that everybody is facing with these drugs that we're taking. And Wendy, I really would just I want you to introduce yourself, talk about all the wonderful things you are doing, but you have a solution that's helping
Yeah.
women, and it's
Yeah, I
amazing.
know.
So
It's
who are
gonna.
you? Who are you, my new friend?
Okay, so anyway, my name's Wendy Strigar, and I guess I'm a serial entrepreneur, which is just means that I really like to solve problems, right? And I've been working on women's health problems for a long time. And it started when I was just perimenopausal with my last child. And so I had four kids, and I really needed moisturizer, a personal lubricant, and every product on the market made me sick. So I started this company called Good Clean Love and grew it in my kitchen and then in a tiny little office near my kids' school for years. And just because I feel like I was really blessed and I met a biophysicist from Johns Hopkins, our products got included in a study really early on. It was an accident. It was a miracle, actually. And our products were the safest products in the study when they were trying to figure out how could they make products that would protect women from more STDs and HIV. That was the whole goal of the study. And they found out that most of the products in the market actually not only don't protect them, but actually disrupt the microbiome so much that they actually precipitate vaginal infections and access for HIV and STDs and other things. So when you get BV, and many, many women have BV over and over and over again, you're 60% more susceptible to HIV and STDs and
Okay, so
three
go back for a
times
second.
likely
First,
to
explain.
give that to your partner.
Yeah. At first, can you explain what a microbiome is? Like, talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old and explain BV a little bit.
Yeah. So anyway, I didn't know any of these things when I started. I just knew when I had sex, I was in a lot of pain. And when doctors gave me products like KY or Astroglide, I would like run to the bathroom. I felt like I was on fire. And I
Yeah,
kept going back and saying, "What is wrong with me?" And
right.
they're like, "Oh no, you're fine." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm not crazy and I'm not fine, right?" I had to soak in a tub for 3 hours. So that's,
I used to think I was allergic to my husband's sperm. It
well,
hurt so bad. It felt like it hurt so bad when he ejaculated. I would just like be on fire and run to the bathroom
yeah.
for
Well, it
years,
might have
for
been that.
years.
I just want to say it might have been that, or it might have been a product you were using with that, right? It might have been a
Yeah.
combination of both of those things. Because honestly, the products that doctors still give away routinely and that are sold widely, in fact, 90% of the market is made of these products that are actually made of propylene glycol, which is another word for brake fluid and antifreeze. And so think about putting antifreeze on the most sensitive tissue in your body. And then you understand, even if you can't feel it, because a lot of women just compartmentalize and they can't feel that part of their body because they've had so many traumas or just so many reasons that we are disconnected from our vaginal health
Right.
and the way our vagina feels, right? It's a way that we protect ourselves to dissociate from that part of our body, right? I mean, we've done another study in Nebraska where literally half of the girls in Nebraska that showed up for this vaginal health study, where we were trying to see if how your microbiome is affects your ability to be aroused, which in fact it does. But what we found by accident is that half of those women were survivors, incest survivors, half in Nebraska. And we weren't
Oh
even
my God.
for those women.
Incest survivors? Oh my God.
Yeah, it's so rampant what men do to women, like from the time they're very small. The earlier that happens, the more damage you see in the microbiome. And so that's what's really interesting is that like that whole body keeps the score thing. Well, it
Yeah.
actually really does also about sexual trauma. And what we see is that when women have had sexual trauma, when they're aroused, that inflammation comes up again. So they have a really hard time enjoying sex for years afterwards because of that earlier trauma that's encoded in their microbiome. So anyway, I was just a girl that was trying to keep having sex with her husband, honestly, after my fourth kid. I grew up in a divorce, did not want to get divorced. And and that's how I started trying to make products that didn't make me sick. Honestly, that was the beginning. And but I'm also
Wow.
a problem solver, and I had many friends, actually several that have since departed, who had cancer. And so I learned through them just how terrible these drugs, what they do. I mean, to our whole body, but certainly, like, because I was so key to sexual health, of course, everybody would talk to me about that. And yeah, the dryness and I mean, in some cases, depending on what kind of cancer, it's so bad that women, when they get radiation, reproductive area radiation, they get obliterated vaginas, which just means that the walls of the vagina fuse together, and it can't even be corrected surgically. And so it's a tragedy. And
Your walls fused together, meaning you can't have sex?
yeah, or even peeing
You can't
is
even
hard.
pee.
Yeah. And it's actually not uncommon. That's the tragedy. Like you would think if that was happening to a man, we would have figured
Right.
this
Oh my
out,
God. Right.
you
They would
know?
figure it out
But
for
yeah,
sure. Right.
exactly. And so, yeah, so ever since I've been told these things, and how wrong it is, we've been designing and making products to really support kind of the restoration of that tissue and also the vaginal microbiome. So anyway, I started Good Clean Love, and then I started a company called Vaginal Biome Science. Actually, mostly so people would take me seriously, because when I was trying to sell products and I was teaching science, nobody believed me. They thought I was just trying to sell products. But when I just taught the science, then people kind of believed me. And I have a really amazing microbiologist PhD, and so you have to have the people who fit the roles. But and she's amazing. I love her. She can do work that I can't do at all. But so we did a study in that company called the Venus study, where we did with 30 of our practitioners, because all these years I was talking to doctors and I was going to these medical conferences trying to understand, why would you give women KY? Like, and I would just kind of whisper to them, that's brake fluid that's in that, and they'd be like, what?
Oh
And
yeah. So KY jelly is brake fluid.
all of those products, right? Like, and so propylene glycol is one ingredient that you can look for in any product that you use on the most sensitive tissue in your body. But whatever, there's polyethylene glycol. If it ends in a glycol, it does that. So let me just say that. And also there's parabens, methyl and propyl
Right.
parabens.
And we know they cause cancer.
There's polyquats. There's so many things that we use in US product bases that don't belong on the most sensitive tissue in your body, you know?
Any
And
part of
and
your body, for God's sakes.
but certainly not the most porous parts of your body. Like when you think about the tissue in your mouth, if you ever burned your mouth with pizza or something, right? Like that tissue, that sensitive tissue in your mouth, even in your eyes and your sinuses, right, goes down your esophagus into your gut biome. Everybody's heard of their gut biome, right? And it exits through the vaginal and rectal openings. But all of that tissue is mucous membrane, which is really different than like your skin, right? Like it's just it's a mucus. And so it's way more porous, right? And it's way more sensitive. Right. And also we're strangely also heals faster in many ways, right? Like when you burn your
When,
mouth,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
got
yeah.
different properties. But anyway, so if you put ingredients that are what we call hyperosmolar, And so propylene glycol is 30 times heavier than the weight of your own mucus that you produce in your body naturally, or sperm, even for that matter, right? So our own bodily fluids are what you call isoosmotic, and the weight of them are much lighter, right? Because they're biological fluids, right? But if you use products like propylene glycol, that's 30 times heavier. And so if you remember from 11th grade chemistry, when you use things that are way heavier than your own tissue, osmosis, right? That's what our cells do. And the job of those cells is to balance what's outside and inside. And
Right.
so if you're not balanced what's outside and inside, it'll pull all the moisture out of those cells, right? And basically all that external vaginal epithelium, that top layer of cells in your vagina, will slough off. All this excess moisture will be released, and also that will really push your pH up. And the single most important thing to know about your vaginal health is that we don't want to mess up that barrier, right? That's where your immune system functions. And we also don't want the pH to go up.
Change. Yeah. Yeah.
Because if the pH goes way up in that area, that's like a party. That's like a party for bacteria. You're throwing a huge bash for bad bacteria, toxic bacteria. What you want is you want to have a late night slumber party with healthy bacteria, lactobacilli, right? And so being able to control that pH meter is literally what will control that health. But hyperosmolar products cause you to create that bad party, right? And so all of our products are made with low pH, but also isoosmotic. So we don't disrupt that barrier. So we can actually use a kind of lactic acid that pulls the pH down. And women even feel that happening to them. So anyway, years and years, I'm doing all these studies. Doctors would come to me and say, well, why are my patients getting better when they use your wash or your gel? And I would say, well, I could think I could tell you why, but let's do a study. And, you're a doctor. Let's see, you can see. So we have these pilot studies we've done over the years, where we can see that when women use our products continuously over time, their pH does come down regularly and they stop reporting all these bad symptoms, right? That's
And
a
so the products are a wash and a cream. Like explain what the
well,
products are.
we have a huge array of products at goodcleanlove.com. We have lubricants, personal lubricants in all kinds of flavors and types. And my favorite is the Bio Nude. That's the one that's most bio matched. But we have a sexy coconut hybrid. A lot of people like that. They call it naked coconut. Our famous lube is Almost Naked. That was my very first big product in the world. That's an aloe-based product. But all of them are made the same, which is to say that they're all isoosmotic, so they won't disrupt your microbiome. And they all are protective because they give you this kind of lactic acid that not only reduces your pH, but also feeds the specific types of healthy lactobacilli that women need to be well, right? So it creates this virtuous circle when you don't have it, right? Because you've taken aromatase inhibitors, or
Right.
maybe you've reached perimenopause, or maybe you're menopausal, or you might even be postpartum, right? Like there's so many reasons in a woman's reproductive life that she stops producing estrogen. And when she does, then there isn't the glycogen that the estrogen provides to help those healthy lactobacilli thrive. So so anyway, I have these two companies. I'm doing this study. And then what I realize is that women who go to the doctor, because I have all these doctor friends now from doing all this work, are actually being given prescriptions that are just like KY, which is to say that all of these prescriptions are made with propylene glycol and
Same
preserved.
thing. The same thing.
Exactly. But except they have medicine in them, but then the medicine can't really do the job because we've already completely made the whole microbiome dysbiotic. And then like you can't really do whatever you say you're going to do. And a lot of women can't tolerate it, right? Especially women who've had cancer, they're already more sensitive, so they don't even use it. They don't even use the medicine.
Wow. 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 Wow.
And so now we're launching. This is sort of my great culmination in work, and then hopefully I can go off into the and rest a little bit more. We'll see. Uh, Within a
Let's
month, we're
see.
going to be launching Good Clean Clinical Care. And basically, we'll have all these medicines that women might get from their doctor, but made in this base that does the same thing, right? It's isoosmotic, it doesn't disrupt, it reduces the pH so that you're only producing a place where good bacteria can live. And and it provides this healthy form of lactic acid that healthy lactobacilli need. And so we have like a whole restoration kit, but we also have like, low dose estrogen creams. We have, if women have cancer, sometimes they can use it, sometimes they can't. We have lidocaine, pramoxine, all different pain creams. We have,
I'm gonna pull up your website, okay, and let people look at it.
well, you can pull up Good Clean Love
Yeah,
because
I'll pull up
live, but if you want, I can show you a sneak peek of the other one.
okay, here, I'll pull this up and then you
Not
can,
quite live yet, but it will be
okay.
live soon. And we're gonna give you guys like, yeah, so this is Good Clean Love. This is our um I mean, we're all about helping you to biomimic your way back into health.
Well,
So
you
this
see,
is
relief, restore, reset. I love your words. Restore, reset, rehydrate, rebalance. So, so here's all your products, right?
Yeah, and this is like again the consumer products, but
Right.
honestly, women just get on these products and then they stay with it. I mean, I think if you look at like clean ingredients or under shop, go back there,
To
shop.
shop.
Um, I don't know. I think we're building a cancer care bundle on here. So
But I
soon
love this why you said shop
there
by
will be a,
intimacy, by
yeah,
your issues, sensitive
yeah.
skin,
But
perimenopause,
the point is that
hard to
soon there's
conceive.
going to be one on there for cancer care.
Oh, that's awesome. 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 So just like we clicked on intimacy. So it's great. So it has all the products shot by how you're what you're concerned about. Isn't that so great?
Yeah, so sensitive skin, for
Right,
instance.
right.
And then you'll see here's the products we make for the most sensitive people that we sell to. And I use all these products. So they're great. I mean, they're really great products. And there's nobody that's really doing science in the way that we are in this
Yeah,
market. So yeah.
that's awesome. That's awesome. What's under biomatch? What does that mean?
Biomatch, this is what I was telling you about the way we
Okay, yeah.
the product. So if you scroll down, you can see like there's the
Like you
iso
explaining all the terms you're using. Yeah,
yeah, and the lactic acid.
great.
So yeah.
I get your newsletter, but we'll sign up. But
Mhm.
interesting, huh? So everything is here though. And you really do give people a roadmap on what to do and how to use it, right?
Yeah, we try. And then we have a website you can see. We do a lot of education here.
Yeah.
Uh, Back in the early days when we had no money to advertise on anything, I would just write blogs. And so you'll sort of see me all over the internet that way. But yeah, so I feel like we do a really beautiful job on education and um, yeah, and then you see this healthcare providers at the top. That's our website where we met all these doctors, and we have like 17,000 doctors there that give away 3 million samples that we give them. And
Wow.
yeah, and then and that's how 2 in 5 of our customers finds us is from their
Wow. I'm
doctor.
a doctor, which is great. So, because
Yeah.
doctors aren't all that helpful, you
I
know,
mean,
for
if
other
you
stuff.
find a good doctor and they
Yeah.
know the good, clean love, then you know you're in the right place. I
Right.
just want to say because we sort of, I mean, it's sort of a self-selection. Like 600 doctors come to us every month to get these samples, and they just
Wow.
find their way to us. Because if I tried to get them, I couldn't get them. But if they find out usually from their patients frequently,
Well, I'm
you
sure they're finding out from patients who had a success with them, and then they just share it with other patients. And if it's working and it's safe and it does all the things to help
But
you
we're excited
have the right
because like
balance.
doctors also will be able to prescribe on this platform.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
So if people have a really good doctor, the doctor can just prescribe directly to the patient and they don't have to send them to the platform.
Yeah, but this is all online. I mean, you don't have to get it through your doctor. You could just
No,
get it
no. I mean,
yourself.
all
Yeah.
of those products are over the counter and we sell
Right.
them in most stores in the country. Not every product is at all the stores. We mostly have lubricants on shelves, but on Amazon everything's there and
Right.
but it's better to shop on our site, I think, because you get better deals and it's just people are addicted to Amazon, right? We love convenience. It's just how
I
it is.
know. I know. Don't get me started on
I
Amazon.
try I try not to use it, but it's
Yeah.
hard, right?
It's
It's
hard
so
not to.
easy, it's
It's hard not to.
it's so easy. But it's killed, I mean, it's basically killed commerce. I mean, honestly, that when it's all over, that will be the post-mortem, is that it was Amazon because they're so damn greedy also that like basically killed the margins that allowed so many businesses to stay in business. So what
Right.
you see, even when you go to stores, is that more and more like not only can small brands not really make it in there because it's so expensive, pay to play, um, but because the way the tonnage has moved from store to Amazon, if you can't succeed, right? Or I mean, I did all this work over the 20 years you could still do it, but I'm just telling you, there's no way I could do it now. I
Right.
mean, even stars like Christina Aguilera, who made that playground set of products, which is just another version of terrible. But whatever, she like has her stardom and all that. But even her products were just recently delisted at Target.
Oh,
So
really? She had vaginal products? I didn't even know that.
get like lubricants,
Okay.
brown, but like nothing special or nothing that's going to help you feel better. And that's what I think is really different is that we're really always health first. I mean, and I just want to say about
Okay.
sexual health is that, it's like so important that anybody who's listening to us today, it's like giving up your sexual health is giving up a foundational part of your health. But to that extent, if you're not really healthy, you can't be sexually healthy. But if you're
Right.
also not sexually healthy, you're not also fully healthy. They really need each other. They really need each other.
Really. Well, yeah, because it's not only physical, it's emotional, it's psychological, all the other things that sort of go
Yeah.
with
I
sexual health,
mean,
right? You can't separate it, right?
and
Uh,
it's like I was telling you some stuff about clitoral anatomy.
yeah, can you go back to what we were talking before we
Yeah,
started?
I just actually only recently learned this, but I was 39 before I knew anything about what the clitoris was. That's because that was the first time that it was
Yeah.
mapped, that any of us knew what it was. So everybody always thought, and this was what was taught in medical school until 1998 or 2000. Actually, probably it was 2000 before this was like common knowledge, but even still, many women today don't know it. That the clitoris is not that little spot or that little 1 centimeter button on top of your vagina. It actually is an organ system and it has legs that go 11 centimeters into the vaginal walls and finish at the very back of the vagina at the G spot. All of that is anatomical in one system and it engorges exactly the same way, except even more effectively than the penis does. So it's like, when you're conceived, before the XY or XX exerts itself at about 10 weeks conception, that's when that sex organ diverges. But what I'm telling you is that it's the exact same organ. the way that the penis engorges, that's how the clitoral system engorges. It's more
Wow.
similar than it is different, except that the clitoral system has over 10,000 axon nerve endings as compared to 4,000 in the penis. So every
10,000, say that again, 10,000?
10,000 nerve endings, axion nerve endings. And it's like it's the most nerve concentrated per centimeter organ in the entire human body, male or female.
So do
And
women have better orgasms because of
well,
that?
they do, and they're also like the biology is entrained to have orgasms that are like 30 minutes, an hour long, because it's not like a rise and then ejaculation. It's like once you engorge those the walls of the vagina, and it's like these waves of orgasm. I can orgasm 15 times
Yeah.
in an hour, right? And I mean, I'm really lucky. My husband's 70 and we still like that's the one part of life that really works. That's how I got so engaged in all this, right? Like, and
Having
but
good sex. Wow, what a concept, right?
I really didn't know anything about any of that. And I would have like these, contractions internally. And I was like, what is wrong with me? But it's like that's a normal consequence of a clitoral orgasm, that it actually ripples inward, right? That's why I always tell everybody, don't have sex until you have a clitoral orgasm. Because and people would email me. They'd be like, "Well, I used your lube, but it didn't work." And I'm like, "All right, wait a minute."
Right,
There's only so many things a lubricant can do. If
right,
you're not ready to be entered, right? If you're not physiologically open, then a lubricant might help the chafing, but it's not going to provide that what an engorgement will do, right? I
right.
mean, it's like after you have an orgasm of any kind clitorally, and it's still today the number of women who won't touch
Don't
them,
have it. Right.
who don't have any relationship to that part of their body, or like they just feel like, oh, he wouldn't want to wait that long. I mean, what is he going to wait for if not that? That is
Right.
like the best thing in the world to wait for, right? And it's not even waiting, but it's like there's some interesting comments in this article about like the men who know that it's all about her pleasure know something that all these other men haven't even come near.
Right.
Because truthfully, like a woman who is like orgasming and like I mean that sexual energy to give back to your partner, like that's like the richest
Yeah.
energy you can get.
Yeah.
A miracle actually, so I mean that's why we're the goddesses, right? um and
I
and
love this
and in my,
conversation.
in my religion, in Hinduism, the culmination of the universe is the god and the goddess, and the god is Shiva, and he holds all the space, and Shakti is the goddess that makes everything manifest in the world. And it's their lovemaking, it's her ability to manifest inside of his space that makes the universe. It's a really beautiful
Wow.
question. But it's actually true in life, right? Like if a man that can hold space for a woman to manifest, it's like unstoppable, right? And the orgasms are incredible. So I'm super dedicated to that part of my life still. That's why I still spend time like inventing new products and all that. But really, I'm super excited about this new work in Good Clean Clinical Care because try as I might for years and years, I feel like we've trained women to believe that their vaginal health needs a doctor. And it's very hard to get a doctor's attention to really care about or think about a
Right.
woman's sexual health needs or her dryness. Or, I mean, women frequently, I've been told this many times, might have symptoms for 5 to 10 years before they
Oh,
return to
yeah.
the doctor.
Yeah. Because they think something's wrong with them, right?
Exactly,
Right.
exactly.
Right. They don't think it's a
I think
health
it's
problem
so
or an illness
so
or
taboo,
something.
right?
Yeah.
So if like women have odor, which is very common, it's the most common and most disturbing problem for many women. It's not them that has that odor. It's like anywhere in your body. It's the bacteria that's living in you or on you that's creating that bad odor. If you have bad odor in your mouth, that's because you have some teeth that are decaying and creating this really unhealthy space for bad bacteria to thrive. That's always what bad odor is. It's never about the person, right? But so what do? We sell them these shitty deodorant washes and I mean that have these horrible fragrances in them, right? Just as bad as propylene glycol. And all it does is make the problem worse. Or my one video, my one video on TikTok that's really like got 500,000 views or something is about vaginal steaming, right? And I also have a few about douching. And the
Can
number of
you
women,
play it? Can you play it?
if you go
I
to
don't know
TikTok,
how to share TikTok.
yeah, I don't know either. I only make the videos. I never watch them. If I had to watch myself, I couldn't do it anymore.
That's
Um,
so funny.
but the thing
We'll
is
look
that
for it.
I'm only saying that to you because that is still a really common practice that women think that they need to steam themselves, which is really dangerous because you can burn this really sensitive tissue by steaming. And it isn't
What is steaming? What is that?
like you sit on this like hot pot of steam on you and you have that go in your vagina with herbs or whatever people do with
Oh
it.
my God.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Gwyneth Paltrow would like recommend that if that tells you anything. And
And what's it supposed to do? Get
it's
rid of the
supposed to
dryness?
be and get rid of the odor. But
Oh
what
my
I'm telling
God.
you is that if you just use this vaginal rinse wash we have and this vaginal gel, that will correct the balance, the pH balance, so good healthy bacteria can live there, and then you'll smell sweet. You'll smell like yourself, you know? And so it's not like I mean, I feel like this is a really important thing to talk about on this show. Because for reasons we don't know, women of color, especially African American women, have a kind of bacteria, lactobacilli. And this is true also in Africa. It's not just true in America. It's not just American Black people, it's also African Black people. So, and we don't understand why it's true because we don't do studies about this,
Okay.
but we know that they have a different kind of lactobacilli that's native to them that is shorter than the typical ones. And it's some sort of evolutionary thing how this happened, right? Again, I can't like tell you exactly why it happened. All I can tell you is that it doesn't produce what you call the D isomers. So there's L isomers and D isomers in lactic acid. And the body is the only one that can produce the D isomers. Like you can get L isomers in nature, but you can't get the D isomers, except we use this kind that's synthetically produced. The only way you can make it is this company in Japan figured out how to make it, and it's this DL blend, right? But it's like new science. It's relatively new science. But so when women who don't have that D isomer get it in their products, then they can keep healthy lactobacilli there that they might not produce themselves. And we really believe that that has a lot to do with not only the cancer rates, cervical cancer especially, that's really much higher percentage among African American women,
Yeah.
Mexican women, but also a lot of the terrible preterm birth and just tragic birth outcomes that many African American women have. And so I'm dying to have the money and the opportunity to do a study with Black American women to
Let's
see if
figure out how to do it. Yeah.
I gave them our products and said, just use these products the whole time you're pregnant. Just let's see what the outcome is at the end, right? Like, I'm just going to send them to you. You just do it, and we'll ask you to swab twice during your pregnancy, and then we'll watch. We'll see what happens. And I just bet that, like, if they had a healthy microbiome, they would have way better outcomes, way better.
Well, let's figure out how to do that. We have to figure out how to do that. We have two comments in the comments here from Karen Barnett. First one is how can viewers obtain samples tonight? Ah,
Um,
so
well, so they can for sure go on Good Clean Love and order right away. And let's just make up a code right now. Let's just call it Touch 20. And I'm gonna email like my people and just say make that a live code right now. Um,
Awesome.
and then they can use that code, but hopefully by the end of our show, um, and it'll work.
So they on Good Clean Love. Thank you so much for that. So
Yeah.
wow.
So
Um,
let me, can you please make a called, code called Touch 20?
is it all caps or does it matter?
No, no cap for
Wow,
um
awesome.
my podcast right now. So she'll do it because I just asked her to do it. Um,
Wow, thank you so much, you guys. You know,
Yeah, so then they can all so for sure everybody should try the balance wash and they should get either restore or rehydrate gel and they should get the reset. And that set of products can biomimic them back to a healthy microbiome.
so tell me those products again, the Restore.
The Restore is the vaginal gel.
Okay.
And so I do want to say that we also have this one called Rehydrate. And if you've been going through cancer treatment, you might want to get the Rehydrate because it's a little bit easier. Like you might not have so much of a reaction. The Restore, if your pH is really high right now, you're gonna feel that bring down your pH. And the Restore might be too hot for you. So maybe get the Rehydrate. But that heating sensation is actually the sensation of your pH coming down. So good bacteria can live there.
Wow. Wow.
Um,
Wow.
and
Wow. Wow. Wow.
and and then the balance wash. So what I might recommend is just use the balance wash for a week to start with, just so because then that's bringing your pH down on the outside to 4.0. And then when you use the gel, that's bringing your pH down on the inside to 3.7. And that's where those pH levels should be. And you're already going to notice the odor is going to be so different. And then the other product is the reset. And so then after one more week, after you've used the gel for a little bit, then you can also start to use the gel on the outside, which is really nice moisturizing. And then you can add the reset once a week at the top of the applicator of the gel. And that's going to put the healthy lactobacilli in there that you might not be able to produce yourself. And then you're going to have a way healthier vaginal microbiome. And who knows, you might even want to have sex. And then you should get BioNude after that.
What's BioNude?
BioNude is that really biomatch lubricant. That's,
Okay.
yeah.
And
And we have
that's a
other ones,
lubricant.
but
Yeah,
I feel
that's
like
a lubricant.
this
That's what I
crowd,
get. Yeah.
yeah, for this crowd, we should just stay with the most biomatch products, those
So
products.
you really just want to like get yourself right and then
Yeah.
and then
For
have sex. Get your vagina right, right?
Yeah, 'cause you won't
So
enjoy it so much,
yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
if you're in
So
that pain, why would you be thinking about sex? You won't
right.
be. Or if
So
you're so ashamed of your odor, you're not going to think about sex, right? Like, or if you're just dry, like to the point of irritation, you're not going to think about sex. But if you use this gel every day, you stop being so dry. You're like moist. Like I'm moist like I was in my 40s because I do it every night.
wow.
Only use those products, right? So no steaming, no douching, no Vagisil, no summer's eve, no any of the things that you thought your mother thought you should use. None of that. Stop, stop, stop. Just use these products and then actually send me a testimonial and I'll put you on my website.
I love it. How do they send you a testimonial?
Well, anybody can email me anytime at wendy@goodcleanlove.com. I'm the founder, so they have to do whatever I want. I mean, not whatever.
To
I,
win.
you know,
I love it.
I'm
So
I'm the chief innovation officer,
you
so
achieve everything.
I just get to keep having good ideas.
Isn't that the best?
Yeah,
I
it's so fun.
I know Emily and Haley always tease me because I'll like have an idea like let's do whatever, whatever. We can figure that out somehow. So they call themselves the vice presidents of somehow because I'm
I
always
love that.
so stressed up at them.
That
But all
vice
right,
president
so
somehow.
I love the vice president of somehow, right? That's the
Right.
title. Because
Yeah, I'm going to tell my people that I need a vice president of somehow.
somehow I go figure it out, right? And they come back to me. Okay, okay. All right, so to do all of these things, how much does that cost when you add up all the products, restore, whatever, rehydrate, all the things?
With the 20% discount is probably going to cost, oh,
Just
I don't
curious.
know. Would it cost 15, 30, maybe $40 for all of
40.
that?
Wow, wow. And
1
then
month, for 1 month.
for 1 month, wow, wow, wow. So that's like less than Starbucks, right? Or less than
Exactly. Everybody can afford this.
we can give up food.
The
Everybody
thing
can
is,
afford it.
honestly, that's one of the things I really pride myself on because, our products are literally the best, most premium products in the market, but we sell them at value pricing. Really, the price should be higher for these
Right,
products because they're sort of amazing. But that was how I sort of started because I always wanted them to be available to everybody. A lot of companies that compete with us, and they're just like sexy packaging and whatever. And it's like, or I don't know what they spend on marketing, but it's like their products aren't nearly as good and they charge 60, $70 for them. I do want to say that on the medical site, because people have to pay for the doctor and this is like, pharmaceuticals.
yeah, yeah,
So the
yeah.
average, I'm going to give you a code for 20% off for them to use that as well for the
Okay,
first
that's
time they go on there. But it's more like $100 average for them to go on
but
there.
still that's really good.
But for medicine, right? It's be cheaper than going to a Zoom visit, honestly.
Wow.
And we have like people who are really trained in this vaginal health space, which you almost can't find anywhere. Like if you're really lucky and you have an amazing gynecologist that like actually studies and reads, like you're in a very small group. So,
What's
with
that website called? I'm going to share it. What's that website called?
it's called Good Clean Clinical Care, but it's just got a sign up on there now where you can just put your email in, so then you'll be notified as soon as it opens. But
Okay.
I'm really praying that I can get it open on June 26th at 9 a.m. Eastern. Um,
Okay. Okay.
um, because the stars are all aligned for that day. So I'm trying to listen to the goddess on that. But anyway, it's going to be open really soon. Our people actually, my chief science officer and our um our customer service lead. Yeah, there you go. This is the prescription
Yeah.
compound microbiome science. So you just put your email in there and then you'll get notified right away. Um, and then you can see just like the story if you like this page shows you all the stuff um that'll be available to you in just hopefully 24 more days.
Wow.
I've been
But
trying to do this for 5 years, honestly, literally 5 years.
really
Oh yeah, it's taken a long time. It's really great that I'm a terrible quitter. I'm a really bad
terrible
quitter.
critter. I don't think anything rains on your parade, girlfriend.
Well, you're one to talk. I mean, you're more impressive than I am, actually. But the thing is when you love the work just for the sake of the work,
Yeah,
then that's a blessed life to live, right?
it is
Here,
a
so
blessing.
scroll down,
When
and
you
I'm
have
going
a
to show you.
purpose, when you
I'm
have a
going to
purpose.
totally. That's like, you're lucky if you feel like you are alive for a
Yeah,
purpose, not your own, right? That you can be of
right,
service. Like that's
right.
my whole thing. How can I help? So like you'll see that what if
Yeah.
you scroll down that page just telling
Oh,
anybody looking that
oh, I'll put it back. Yeah.
you'll see that there's like a test, which is a 56 target test where you can like see that test that you just scrolled by there.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, up a little bit more. See this
Oh,
test?
good test. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
so yeah, so you can sign up for the test and then you'll actually really know what's going on in your microbiome. And then the
Wow.
doctors can help you even more than like without that information, right? And that's what happens. Like so many women are misdiagnosed because we don't collect enough data. And so
Right.
without data, we don't know. And then these treatments, we have like 70 different treatments that women can get. And then,
Wow.
all of our physicians um and then this is the Biome Nourish cream that does the exact same thing that we were just talking about, Biomatch, right? It's a medicine form of Biomatch.
So how are these products different from on the ones on the Good Clean website?
Well, because they actually have drugs in them,
Got
like
it. Okay.
estradiol
Okay. Okay.
or
Okay. So
lidocaine
they're a little
or
more potent, a little more
oxine
potent.
or
Yeah. They're a
yeah,
little
no,
more
they're like medicines, like a doctor would prescribe the
got it.
medicine,
Got it.
except the medicine you would get would be in petrochemicals like propylene glycol. And so then it wouldn't really be able to do what it says it does because it would
Because
make
that's
you really
counteracting.
dysbiotic.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow. 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 Wow.
So I have to say I feel pretty proud of myself,
You
and
should. You should.
I do. I really feel proud of myself, and uh,
And Karen Burnett says thank you. She said, I can't wait to order. No,
yeah,
you should. And Roxanne says that's if I'll be a customer. So, I mean, you're solving a problem. You're solving,
it's
and
a huge
can,
problem.
can you, I don't know that I've ever actually talked.
70 million women in this country. 70. And that's actually conservative. And here's the thing, I only want 100,000 of them to come to me, and I want them to all be cancer survivors or cancer patients, you
Yeah,
know? And like at that point, not only will all those women feel better, but I will be able to do even more research then. I'll be able
right.
to do even more cool stuff, right? With just so that's my whisper to God every night when I'm not sleeping is like, please show me a way to get the women to get this help, you know? So
Yeah.
anyway, we'll have to like maybe you can add to the thing. I'll get you a code. That code that I'm giving you, Touch 20, is for Good Clean Love that you
Okay.
can use right away. And so I'm just like gonna check and make sure. Um, um, She said she's messaging her right now. So
Okay,
it should
that's
be
right.
live by the end of the show. So that's for all the Good Clean Love stuff. And that stuff really works, don't get me wrong. But like women really feel like they need medical help mostly. And so, we're giving them the medical help, but we're also supporting their microbiome. And then we have a bunch of products on there that's called Microbiome Recovery Kit. And then they can take those also to get but our products do the same thing. The ones I told you about do that also, but it's just a little bit more powerful when you take the medicine.
Wow,
So
wow,
maybe
wow. Well, I'm looking at some statistics. I forgot that I've called before, but clinical studies show that 50 to 70% of all breast cancer survivors experience significant vaginal dryness on GSM. And then applying this to Black women, knowing that roughly 61% of Black breast cancer patients are diagnosed with HR positive breast cancer. It's the most common one,
uh,
and prescribed with like all these estrogen blocking pills for 5 to 10 years, like tamoxifen, all the things, right? So they're
mhm.
living with vaginal dryness.
hmm
So,
And actually, another thing to say about those statistics that people really underestimate is that when you go through a normal menopause and like between 40 to 50 or whenever that happens for you, right? It's like a slope, right? Like it's not like a drop. It's not like
right,
falling off a cliff. But I just want to say that women who go through cancer literally are pushed off a cliff. And so the extreme reaction is because chemical menopause is not like a natural menopause. It doesn't happen in that same way. And there's a lot of other things that estrogen does besides just vaginal dryness and pain and all of that, right? Like the way that your brain functions is
right,
tied to estrogen, the way that your heart
right.
beats
So
tied
many
to
things.
estrogen, right? And so like falling off an estrogen cliff, especially if your estrogen has been higher because you're younger, is literally like that is its own syndrome. That's its own syndrome. And so, I mean, that's 10 million women conservatively in the United States that struggle with these problems for years and no doctor talks to them.
No doctor talks to you about it.
And, and,
And you know, we
and
have so many young women, so many young Black women with breast cancer, you know.
crazy.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like then you go through that process, which is
Right.
so like
Right.
strips so much of you
Right.
that
Right.
many of those women never come back to the microbiome they need normally, like unless they do something about it. And in fact, there's many doctors who would say, "Oh, there's nothing you can do." They don't even think that knowing
No.
about the microbiome will make a difference. I mean, whatever. I could tell you stories that would just roll your eyes. And so we're just so dismissive, like just in the way I was telling you about the miracle of your clitoral organ, and that more than I would say 50% of doctors don't even know about it, wouldn't even be able to teach you about it now in 2026. So this is my soapbox. Can you hear how loud I get when I get on my
I
soapbox?
love it. I love it. I love it. I want to put in a comment what you said about the clitoral organ relative to how many sensories it has relative to a penis.
10,000 compared to 4,000.
So help me write this sentence. Clitoral.
The
Um,
clitoral organ system is the most highly innervated organ in the human body with 10,000 receptor nerve cells as compared to 4,000 in the penile structure.
wow.
Mhm. I know. And it's only 3 months ago that we finally got the full map. 3 months ago in 2026. So anyway, if that doesn't make you mad, I don't know what would, but that makes me happy.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Why
It's
and who
crazy
figured
because
that out?
actually it was just a study that just came out of Europe someplace where they finally just like
Wow.
some really specific tools to really understand the pathways of that. But for many women who've never known that before, like when I was 39 and who've had these really rolling orgasms that reach deep into their vaginal cavity, that is your clitoral organ system working for you. That's normal. I, of
Because it's
course,
all
thought there
connected.
was
It's not just
something,
something else.
that's what I
Yeah.
thought
Yeah.
something was wrong with me all those
Right.
years. Like, why is that happening? Or
Wow.
this idea that you should just be able to have an orgasm. It's your body is not designed for that. We're not designed to just have a 2-minute orgasm. We're designed for this slow build so that the whole organ can wake up before you have penetration. And when you do that, and whatever, we're making some new products because really a lot of times when people think about sex, they just think vaginal dryness, right? But what's really most broken for most people is they can't find desire. They can't because they think that they should want to be sexual. They think they should have a sexual desire like when you're 16 in the back of a car, right? Like it, it's not like that as you get
Like the
older.
TV when they rip the clothes off and like throw the woman or
Who
I
doesn't
love
want that sex,
I love the
right?
scene when they like push women up against a wall in an alley. Like who does that shit?
I
Right.
mean, but it's like we want that because then we get to surrender, right? Because that kind of sex lets us surrender to this thing that we have a hard time owning, right? So everybody I want that, right? I don't get that kind of sex generally, but I fantasize about that. But the thing is that like tapping into desire, the best way to do it is through arousal, right? It's not by trying to go after this mental desire. It's by waking up your arousal mechanism. And where does that wake up? It doesn't wake up just clitorally, although that's a good place to start, but it's also through your limbic brain, which is where your olfactory bulb is. So when you smell things that like are sexy. That's why we're so put off by bad odors, right? It's like the opposite of
Yeah.
sex. That's why women are so concerned about their vaginal odor, right? But when you have a sweet smelling natural vaginal odor, it does turn you on, right? Like it turns on everybody. And so I that's another reason to want a healthy vaginal microbiome. But like accessing your arousal through your olfactory and your limbic brain, we have these love oils that are going to be back out in the market on that website hopefully I'm praying August. And I that was my very first product I ever made, and it was the one that saved my marriage,
Wow.
actually. Um,
Really?
yeah,
Oil? Like some
yeah.
fragrance oil?
Yeah, no, essential oils. You
Oh,
never want to use
essential oils.
fragrance
Yeah.
oils. In
Yeah.
fact, never use fragrances. It's really bad for your brain.
Yeah.
Only ever have scent through essential oil, but those actually heal your brain. So they actually
Essential
go
oils.
from your nose into your olfactory, and that's where it like wakes up that arousal mechanism so you can remember, oh, that's right. I do like
But we
sex.
shouldn't be wearing perfume.
Perfume's really bad for
Look at
everybody.
that. Look at that industry. Oh my God.
Horrible. It's horrible. It's so, I mean, have you ever gone to an office where they're like, you can't wear any scents
Yeah.
because people become so sensitized to them, it makes them sick. I never use any of that stuff myself, but our love oils, which like I said, were my very first products, are really amazing. And I don't know what's on the website now, but we'll have them back in the market really soon. We're just actually getting ready to produce them right now. Um, and so, but also same thing, right? Like clitoral, like just that brain vaginal connection. It's no different than the gut brain connection, right? Like it works the same way. So having your microbiome be stable and balanced helps that your brain to send these messages. Oh yeah, that's right. I like sex, but that's the reason that, when women are going through these terrible procedures and treatments for years that they can't even, sex just is like,
Yeah. It's not
I mean,
attractive. I mean, it's not
hopefully,
interesting. It's not
hopefully it's
interesting.
a good memory for them, but many women don't even have good memories of it, right?
No.
And so we
Yeah.
cut ourselves off from literally this wealth of like energetic, not just release, but like reset. An orgasm resets your emotional and mental and spiritual and physical body in a way that nothing else can. That's why it's the Holy Grail, right? And in fact, I'm pretty sure that's what they call the forbidden fruit in the Garden of Eden. Is orgasm, right? Because honestly, if you share an orgasm with somebody, that's a holy moment. You're with God then, you know? And so they knew that they wouldn't be able to control very many people if people were having orgasms together. They wouldn't need to go to church, be church.
I'm just typing in what you said. They are a holy moment. But you
Oh,
said orgasms reset. What did you say before that? Reset. I love that.
resets your emotional, physical, spiritual, and energetic body. Especially if you let yourself really take your time. And you can do this with yourself also, right? You don't even need a partner for this, right? Like some of the best orgasms I've ever had are by myself, because you let
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
fantasy go. I'm a big fan of erotica, all kinds of beautiful women's erotica around. And there's this fun new website, I mean, app on the phone called Quinn, which I never thought I would listen to in a million years. But in my company, we talk about fun things like this. So I actually got
Got it.
it just to like say what the deal is with it. And I have to say, some of those stories are really sexy, you know? And
I
so
love it.
listening to that audio, like people's sexy voices, like that could be enough.
I
So
mean,
there's all kinds of stuff available for people to want to do this exploration if they want.
so
You
there's
know?
all these sex therapists. We've actually had a couple sex therapists on the show, and and we also, and I wish Dr. Mo was here because she's like the lube queen of like all the different lubes and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But I can't wait for her to see these products. But I mean, we're so
I'm gonna
grateful.
send you some, like
I know,
actually.
and well, I have a box right here in my office that you sent, but we've been putting them in our get bag. So if you go to any of our events where we're
I know,
showing,
but I want you and your doctor, Dr. Mo, and your
yeah,
daughter, because she just
great,
had a
yeah, great.
yes.
We'll try them all. We
I
have
want
like
to
I have a
send
box
you
here.
some.
That would be great. And we've been putting everything in our bags, your information.
Yeah,
So if you get any of our
yeah.
bags for events, it's out in
And
there. And
so
we're
we're
so
gonna make
grateful for
you
that.
that card also
Great.
for 20% off on the clinical care too. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
And so I think this code should be live, is my guess.
Okay. We'll
If it's
try it.
not
Well,
live, she says she's working on it right now. So I would
so
say maybe get it 4:30. Um, and then it should be working.
Okay,
And so,
great.
yeah, so a vaginal gel, balance wash, reset, and then maybe for when you're feeling better, the BioNude.
Wow. All right. All right. Wow, Wendy. I'm
I
so
love,
excited.
yeah, I'm crazy about you, just so you know.
I know
And
you're my girl crush today, right? Or Haley
uh,
said I shouldn't say that. It's like, you're my crush. So no. We will do more great things. And I'd love to talk about this research study. Let's figure out how to do
yeah,
a study. We have so many of them. We're actually about to go on retreat with 8 young women who have metastatic breast cancer under 35. We're doing a mental health, and we're taking your products with us to this
okay,
retreat. But
good, good.
and yeah, we actually put vibrators in their goodie bag. So so, so
Well, then actually, when is it? Next week, you said?
I'm leaving tomorrow to go to
Oh,
this retreat.
wow.
So
Darn,
we
because
have
if
some
you
stuff.
ever do stuff like that, just shoot me a note and I'll send you like some bottles of lube or whatever.
Okay, great, great, great. We'll do that. We'll do it for the next time. But we're gonna continue this
Yeah,
conversation.
for sure. And there's so much to do. There's so
So
much
much to do.
to
So
do.
much to do to make women happy.
And hopefully once I hear back from Elizabeth, then you and I can talk about like maybe a study with AstraZeneca too.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
You're the best. So
Well,
thank
you're
you
the
so
best. We
much.
love this. Well, thanks for being here. We hope today was reliable and relatable and real. That's
Emily,
what Mo
did
would
you
say if
get
she
any
was
other
here.
questions or you think people are good?
Yeah, and people, I put your email address in the
Yeah.
comments, and mine is
Okay.
there too. Everybody
Okay.
knows how to reach me, Ricky at Touch BBC at Outlook, so I'll connect them to you if we need
Okay,
that
yeah.
in the comments.
If anybody asks any questions.
Yeah, and we'll forward them to you. But
Yeah, I feel really lucky to get to do this, truthfully, in this life. I was blessed.
I hear you. That's how I feel about helping
Yeah.
women. We're here to help women. It's my God
Yeah.
job. So,
No, I
yeah,
know. And what better job could you have, right?
right, right,
Yeah.
right.
All
Well,
right.
thank
Well,
you guys.
listen. Thank you.
Blessed love. We always
Yeah.
just hope the hearts flow. Blessed love. Sometimes the hearts come up on Zoom. I don't know, they're not coming today. Not coming today.
Um,
Take
okay.
care. Be blessed. And I'll
All
talk
right.
to you soon. Okay.
Okay. Very soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Take it. Bye. Bye. Thank you for everything. Bye.
Yeah, you